What's going on, guys? It's Unknown Player here, and in this video, once again, we're going to be going over the latest Destiny news and talking about bits of info that have come out recently for the game. And we've got some pretty interesting stuff to talk about, some good and some bad. So the first bit of news is actually really good, and that is confirmation we are definitely getting a raid in some form of DLC or expansion coming soon, most likely the fall expansion in the coming months. So we do know there's going to be 100% a raid coming, and that was kind of announced / teased in yesterday's live stream, which I'll play a clip for you right now.
Block in the April update and stuff like that.
Can I tell them about the next raid?
Absolutely not. But you do still work here, and you are still working with the team upstairs. There's a full raid team creating experiences just like this one. So who knows? Maybe someday. I'm not saying. You're not saying.
We've got some more stuff in store.
Yeah, do you?
We've got some more stuff in store.
Well, there will come a day when we'll talk about those things, but it is not this day.
So as you just heard, he just asked if he can talk about the next raid, and Deej seemed a little bit surprised, not sure whether it was planned or not, but it was pretty funny anyway. And of course, he did mention the fact there was a next raid, and of course, he's working on it. This guy is actually a raid designer at Bungie. That is his job role, so he makes raids. That is what he does. And he, of course, just kind of hinted there, can I talk about the next raid? And Deej said absolutely not. So pretty interesting stuff there, and at least with good confirmation, there will definitely be a raid coming soon, most likely the fall expansion. That's probably what they're talking about, seeing as he called it the next raid. Obviously, it's not crazy information. I think most of us could expect there would be a raid coming soon in the fall expansion at least, but we have seen firsthand with the House of Walls expansion that launched on this date last year, raids are not guaranteed, and that's something Bungie said directly. Raids are not a guarantee for expansions, and you don't know whether they're going to try something new like the Prison of Elders, and we could have got there in the fall expansion, so it's good to know we are not getting that. We're absolutely getting a raid, and I for sure cannot wait to hear more info about this. I really want to know what race it's going to be, whether it's Cabal or Vex or maybe some other kind of race. I think we're all completely sick and tired of the Hive and the Taken by now, so I would definitely love to see something mainly around the Cabal. That's kind of the best guess right now, seeing as they're the kind of least touched enemy in Destiny, but it's definitely exciting times ahead. At least we know we have a raid to look forward to that this guy's been working on. So that clip was actually from a live stream that Bungie did recently. So they did a raid along, which is essentially going through the raid with a raid designer and also a storyteller and talking about the decisions they made and how they come up with ideas and how the mechanics work, how the boss fights work, and some of the inspirations and lore behind it. Really interesting stuff, and I'll link in the description if you want to watch it. And then next week they're doing another stream where they go through the Crucible, and this is going to be a Crucible ride along essentially, where they go through the Crucible maps and how PvP maps were designed and kind of behind the scenes look of how the inspiration was for those maps. So now on to the bad news. Unfortunately, Trials of Osiris has been cancelled this weekend due to the heavy ammo glitch I'm sure some of you already know about. There is essentially a way to get infinite rockets in PvP at any time you want, which is exactly as bad as it sounds, and Bungie have made a tough but smart call to cancel Trials this weekend. It would be broken, and imagine being one win away from the Lighthouse and you lost because a team that had rockets every single round just completely destroyed you. It would not be fun, it would be very frustrating, so they've actually cancelled Trials this week to make sure that doesn't happen. And they have cancelled Trials before, one other time, when the Shadow Shot glitch was a thing. That was early in the Taken King, and that was a lot worse. There was this ridiculously easy method of having infinite Shadow Shot bows with the Night Stalker because of a perk bug, and while they fixed it, they actually called off Trials for one weekend. So they've done it again, and they decided to call off Trials to make sure people aren't getting rocketed every round to try and win, because some people would definitely do that. Some people are really desperate for the Lighthouse. They would for sure try this rocket glitch to try and get their way there. It is unfortunate how fast these glitches spread, and there's nothing really you can do about it. You just got to sit and wait for it to be patched. I think I first saw this on like Tuesday night. On 2 or 3 occasions, I was actually in Crucible, and I had these teammates that recognized me and like waving to me, and then later on in the game, they were shooting rockets at my feet like 1 minute into the game, and I was thinking like, where did they get heavy from? Did I miss a spawn? Did I join late? I was super confused how they got heavy rockets. And yesterday on Wednesday, it seemed to spread like wildfire, and a lot of people learned how to do the glitch, and I just kept quiet about it personally. Of course, I'd never make a video showcasing such a game-breaking glitch. I think that'd be kind of irresponsible. I'm lucky enough to have a lot of people subscribe to my channel and watch my videos, and I don't want to be responsible for someone getting rocketed all game, or even not being able to go to the Lighthouse because the opponents learned how to get infinite rockets from one of my videos. I would not want to be responsible for that, but it is what it is. It's unfortunate. If you did want to play Trials this weekend, you will not be able to, and I won't be running, and you have to deal with the normal Crucible and possibly the occasional dude shooting a rocket at you, but I would highly recommend not trying out the rocket glitch. Bungie did say they won't outright ban you for doing it, but they will impose restrictions on your account, whatever that means. They said they will do that if you're negatively affecting someone else's experience. I'm not sure what these restrictions are, but it's probably not worth finding out. So like I said, I wouldn't really try out that glitch. It's probably going to get you in some kind of trouble with Bungie, and I don't think it's really worth finding out. So of course Bungie did say this week that we would be finding out some more information about Iron Banner in the inventory and when exactly it's going to be running. They said that last week, but unfortunately again, due to the rocket glitch, Iron Banner has also been pushed back. So it's not been cancelled completely, it's just been delayed for a couple weeks. I'm assuming maybe by 1 or 2 until they can actually find a fix for the bug. They normally do an Iron Banner every single month, so I'm not sure whether they'll be able to fix it in time and get one running for this month. I can't really see it being delayed for more than 2 weeks, to be honest. I think 1, maybe 2 is more likely, but like I said, we're going to have to wait and see what Bungie say and get some official news. We should get some more next week. So the final bit of news is the LFG site that Bungie were coming out with has actually released this week. So you can actually right now use the LFG in the recruitment tab, I believe, on the companion app or Bungie.net. You can find other players. So they now have their own integrated LFG site, which I talked about in my last news video, and that is now running right now for Bungie. And of course, they want more feedback and see how they can improve it. But it's pretty interesting they've done that. I asked you guys in last week's video whether you think they should add matchmaking to the endgame activities in Destiny, and with this LFG system, it seems like they probably won't be. If they're adding their own one, it definitely seems like they're going down the route of not adding matchmaking for raid, so I'm guessing we're not going to be seeing that even if until Destiny 2, because they're always going to have the answer that you can use our own LFG site to find other players, so I'm doubting we'll ever see matchmaking in any sort of raid or endgame activities. Maybe the Nightfalls or the Challenge of the Elders one day, but raids is not looking likely. So that is it for all the latest Destiny news. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about everything I've discussed? What do you think about the new raid that's coming? What do you think about the heavy ammo glitch and trials being postponed? And of course, the LFG site, if you use it yourself, have you actually tried it out? But drop a like rating on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.